It was the first week of May 2007. The McCann family, Jerry, Kate, and their 3 children, arrived in the quiet coastal resort of Praia da Luz, Portugal. The air was filled with the sounds of the sea, the faint laughter of tourists, and the rustle of palm trees under a golden sunset. For the McCanns, it was supposed to be a dream vacation, a chance to relax after years of hard work. Every morning, little Madeleine ran down to the pool, her blonde hair catching the sunlight, her laughter echoing across the courtyard. The twins followed behind, giggling. Kate would sit nearby, watching with a soft smile, while Jerry read the newspaper under the shade of an umbrella. Everything felt safe, calm, perfect. No one imagined that behind this perfect postcard moment, the clock was already ticking toward a night that would change their lives, and the world's, forever. May 3rd, 2007. Their final full evening in Praia da Luz. The families staying at the Ocean Club gathered for dinner at the tapas restaurant inside the resort. It was a friendly ritual. Adults chatting, sharing wine, and laughter echoing over the warm Portuguese air. The children, including Madeleine and the twins, had been put to bed in the apartment nearby. The parents, trusting the peaceful surroundings, took turns checking every 30 minutes. It was a small resort, quiet, familiar, safe. No one thought danger could ever walk through their doors. That night, as the candles flickered at their dinner table and the ocean breeze carried soft music from nearby bars, the McCanns believed they were ending their vacation with one last beautiful evening together. But somewhere between the laughter and the last check, something unimaginable was about to happen. Something that would echo across 2 decades of heartbreak and unanswered questions. It was just after 10 p.m. Kate McCann rose from the dinner table for her routine check. A short walk across the courtyard, through a quiet garden path, to their ground floor apartment. The hallway was dim, the air still warm from the day. As she entered, she noticed the door wasn't closed the way she'd left it. A strange unease crept in. She stepped inside, whispering softly, "Madeleine?" No answer. The twins slept quietly, but the bed next to them, Madeleine's bed, was empty. The window was open, its shutter raised, and a cool wind moved the curtains like ghosts in the dark. In that instant, Kate's heart froze. She ran back to the restaurant, her voice trembling, screaming, "Madeleine's gone! Someone's taken her." And in that moment, the dream vacation became a nightmare that would never end. Chaos broke through the peaceful resort like a storm. Jerry ran from room to room, searching closets, corners, the pool, the gardens, calling his daughter's name into the night. Friends, neighbors, and staff joined the frantic search, their flashlights sweeping across paths and bushes. The police were called, but in those early hours, time slipped away. People walked in and out of the apartment, touching doors, windows, and furniture, unknowingly erasing potential evidence. The cries of a mother echoed through the night air. By sunrise, the resort that once felt safe was now wrapped in dread. Madeleine was gone, and no one knew how. By the time dawn broke over Praia da Luz, the McCann apartment had become a scene of chaos and confusion. The Portuguese police arrived just after sunrise, but by then, the evidence, the fingerprints, the footprints, the scent trails, had already been trampled. Friends, resort staff, and even well-meaning neighbors had moved through every corner, searching desperately for Madeleine. Officers tried to secure the area, but the calm control of a proper investigation was already gone. There was no sign of forced entry, no ransom note, and no clear direction. Kate sat in shock, holding Madeleine's favorite pink stuffed cat, her eyes hollow and searching the doorway, as if her little girl might walk in at any moment. Outside, reporters began arriving. Cameras clicked, helicopters circled, and the McCanns, who had come to Portugal for peace, suddenly found themselves in the center of a nightmare that the entire world was about to watch unfold. Within 24 hours, Madeleine's face was everywhere. News channels flashed her photo. The bright smile, the sparkling blue eyes. Across every screen in Europe, newspapers printed headlines filled with fear. questions, and speculation. The small coastal resort transformed overnight into a media circus. Reporters camped outside the hotel, photographers shouted for interviews, and microphones followed every tear and every word from the McCann family. The police struggled under the pressure. Every day brought new theories, new tips, and new witnesses, most of them false leads. Meanwhile, the McCanns tried to hold themselves together, speaking to the world through trembling voices, begging for their daughter's safe return. It was no longer just a missing person case. It had become an international obsession. Days turned into weeks, and hope began to fade. Police followed countless leads, from alleged kidnappers to suspicious vehicles spotted nearby. But none of it led to Madeleine. The lack of progress began to fuel darker whispers. Online forums and tabloids started to question the parents themselves. How could a child vanish while her parents were just meters away? Why was there no trace of forced entry? Jerry and Kate faced the impossible, losing their daughter while being accused of having something to do with it. They endured cruel headlines and relentless judgment. But through it all, they held on to one belief: that Madeleine was still out there, waiting to be found. And in their eyes, the true mystery was just beginning. Weeks after the disappearance, investigators brought in specialist dogs from the UK, trained to detect traces of human scent and blood. Inside the McCann apartment, the dogs alerted near the sofa and behind a curtain. Later, one dog reacted to the trunk of the family's rental car. The findings ignited a firestorm. News outlets called it a breakthrough, while others called it a mistake. The police released fragments of reports to the press, creating more confusion than clarity. In the public's eyes, the McCanns shifted again, from grieving parents to possible suspects. Yet even as the spotlight burned brighter, no definitive proof ever emerged. The evidence seemed to vanish into smoke, leaving only more questions, and silence where answers should have been. By late summer, the McCanns were living a nightmare within a nightmare. Every movement, every expression was dissected on television. Reporters followed them everywhere, to the church, to the police station, to their doorstep. Kate carried Madeleine's pink toy, Cuddle Cat, everywhere she went, the last thing her daughter had held. It became a symbol of love, loss, and hope. Even as exhaustion and fear weighed on them, the McCanns continued to appear before cameras, pleading for information, begging the world not to forget. And yet, the cruel reality remained. There was still no Madeleine. The world was watching, but the truth was still hiding in the dark corners of that Portuguese town. As the case spread globally, support poured in from unexpected places. Celebrities offered donations, airlines displayed posters, and even the Vatican invited the McCanns for prayers. It seemed the entire world was united in grief and curiosity. But as months passed, the hope that had once filled the air began to fade into frustration. Madeleine's face, once a symbol of hope, now appeared on missing posters that had begun to fade under the sun. Still, every time a new lead surfaced, a possible sighting, a photograph, a name, the family's hearts would race again, only to be broken once more. The world had grown attached to the mystery, but for the McCanns, it was not a story. It was an endless, sleepless reality. By 2008, the noise began to fade. The cameras left Praia da Luz. The reporters moved to new stories, and what remained was silence, the heavy kind that comes after chaos. The McCanns returned home to England without their daughter, their hearts full of questions that no one could answer. Portuguese authorities, overwhelmed and divided, closed the case due to lack of evidence. The files, thousands of pages long, were sealed, leaving the truth locked away behind red tape and doubt. The McCanns were officially cleared as suspects, but the shadows of suspicion lingered in whispers and online rumours. Back in their quiet Leicestershire home, Madeleine's room stayed exactly the same. Her toys arranged neatly, her bed made, her drawings on the wall. Kate once said she couldn't bear to move anything because hope still lived there. It was as if time had stopped in that small pink room. Years turned into milestones marked not by joy, but by anniversaries of absence. Documentaries, books, and podcasts tried to make sense of the puzzle, but every new theory contradicted the last. Some believed it was a stranger, others a professional abduction. A few claimed to have seen her in different countries. The McCanns followed every lead, no matter how small, no matter how far. They hired private detectives, studied witness reports, and replayed that night over and over in their minds, searching for something they might have missed. Each year, on May 3rd, they lit a candle for the daughter who should have turned older, but whose time had frozen at age 3. The pain never dulled. It only changed shape, blending with the faintest thread of hope that someday Madeleine would come home. Then, in 2020, 13 years after Madeleine vanished, the case took a chilling turn. German authorities identified a man already in prison for violent crimes, Christian Bruckner. He had lived in the Algarve during the same period, his record filled with theft, assault, and darker allegations. Police revealed he owned a yellow camper van, seen roaming the streets near the McCann's resort. Could this be the face behind the world's most haunting mystery? Investigators called him their prime suspect. But still, there was no body, no definitive proof, no closure. As the world watched, Kate and Jerry faced yet another cruel wave of hope. After years of false leads and broken promises, they had learned the hardest lesson of all. In this story, every new answer only led to more unbearable questions. In the years that followed, German and Portuguese investigators worked together, searching fields, wells, and isolated properties once connected to the suspect. Police dug through barren land in Portugal under the scorching sun, unearthing old evidence, items, and fragments that might hold the key. Drone footage captured lines of officers sweeping through dry grass, their movements slow, methodical, and haunting. They found items believed to belong to women, but nothing confirmed as Madeleine's. Every discovery brought a surge of headlines, and every silence brought more pain. Even after nearly 2 decades, the investigation refused to fade away. The world had moved on, but the shadows of Praia da Luz still held something unspoken. At home in England, Kate McCann still waited. Madeleine's bedroom remained untouched. Pink curtains, toys arranged on the shelf, a photo of a little girl smiling from the bedside table. It was not a room of the past, but a room waiting for the future. Every birthday, the family baked a small cake. Every Christmas, they placed a wrapped gift beside her bed. For them, she was not gone, only missing, waiting to be found. Kate once said, "There's a part of me that still believes one day the door will open and she'll walk in." That hope, fragile, endless, and painfully human, became the only thing stronger than the mystery itself. As weeks turned into months, investigators clung to anything that resembled hope. Then came the shocking announcement. Forensic specialists had discovered traces of what they claimed to be Madeleine's DNA inside the McCann's rented car. The news broke like a thunderclap. Overnight, the grieving parents found themselves standing in the harsh glare of public suspicion. The headline screamed, "Did the McCanns know more?" But behind the closed doors of their quiet home, Kate and Jerry wept. They begged the world to listen. "We did not harm our daughter." Forensic experts later debated the truth. Could the DNA have been transferred from her belongings? Was it a genuine clue or a tragic contamination born from chaos? The hope that had once comforted millions now twisted into a dark cloud of doubt. And for the first time, even those who once believed began to wonder if the truth had already slipped away forever. Years passed, but the mystery refused to rest. Then, a whisper, a new lead. Someone had been seen near apartment 5A that night, a stranger whose presence suddenly mattered. Detectives returned to Praia da Luz, that sun-soaked town now forever shadowed by loss. They retraced the McCann's final footsteps, from the tapas restaurant, through the narrow cobblestone lanes, to the small apartment where everything changed. Locals spoke again, cautiously, their memories faded by time, but still marked by fear. Some remembered a van parked too long near the corner. Others heard a child's cry, swallowed by the wind. But every clue dissolved, like footprints in the sand. Praia da Luz seemed to guard its secret with a quiet defiance, as if the town itself didn't want the world to know what really happened that night. Time moved on, but for the McCanns, every day remained frozen in 2007. The twins grew older, the seasons changed, but Madeleine's absence lingered like an open wound that would not heal. Kate continued her search tirelessly, appearing on television, running campaigns, speaking to strangers who still whispered her daughter's name. Her voice trembled, but never broke. "Madeleine is still out there," she would say. Their home in England remained a quiet museum of memory. Madeleine's pink bedroom, untouched. Her favorite book still beside her bed, a stuffed cat waiting by the pillow. Every night, Kate would pause at that door, whispering goodnight to the child she couldn't stop hoping for. 18 birthdays had come and gone, but the candle of hope never went out. Now, almost 2 decades later, the mystery still haunts the world. From bustling London to quiet corners of Portugal, everyone remembers that photograph. A little girl with wide blue eyes and a shy smile. Over the years, thousands have searched, theorized, debated. Some claim she was taken by a stranger. Others believe she wandered off. And then, there are those who think the truth lies buried beneath layers of lies, mistakes, and silence. But amid the noise and the doubt, one truth stands unshaken. A family's love has endured beyond time. Kate and Jerry McCann still look at the horizon each morning, hoping that somewhere their daughter is alive. And as the sun dips again over the beaches of Praia da Luz, one question still echoes in the fading light. What really happened to Madeleine McCann? No one knows, but the world has never stopped asking.